Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we are diving into something that feels like it's straight out of science fiction, the incredible potential and, the hidden challenges of 3D printing for medical devices. I mean, it sounds crazy, right? The idea that we could just print a perfect replacement part for the human body totally on demand. But this isn't a movie. It's really happening. So the question is, how are we actually building the future of medicine, one tiny layer at a time? Because this technology is already moving out of the research lab and into the operating room. We're seeing real-world applications that are genuinely starting to change medicine as we know it. And the kinds of things we can print are just incredible. We're talking about custom-fit implants that are a perfect, one-of-a-kind match for a patient's anatomy. We can spin up rapid prototypes to test and improve new devices way faster than ever before. We can even build these complex scaffolds using special biomaterials. And then, get this, through a process called biofabrication, we can embed them with living cells to create actual tissue. I mean, the possibilities are just staggering. Okay, but to really understand how we can print something like a new knee joint or living tissue, we first need to get a handle on the core technology. And it all comes down to a process called additive manufacturing. So while most of us just say 3D printing, in the industrial and medical world, the more accurate term is additive manufacturing, or AM for short. This is the big, professional, industrial-scale process of building an object layer by meticulous layer, all from a digital design. You can think of 3D printing as the fun consumer version, while AM is the industrial-grade powerhouse that makes all of this possible. And the real breakthrough here becomes super clear when you compare it to how we've always made things. See, traditional manufacturing is subtractive. Just picture a sculptor with a block of marble. You start with a big chunk and you carve away everything you don't want, which, creates a ton of waste. Additive manufacturing is the complete opposite. It builds up from absolutely nothing, layer by layer, only using the material it needs. This is what makes it so perfect for creating these incredibly complex, totally custom shapes with almost zero waste. So the technology itself is revolutionary, no doubt about it. But there is a huge, huge gap between printing a cool prototype and actually putting a device inside a human being. And that gap is filled with one of the biggest challenges in all of medicine, proving that it's safe. And this is the absolute crucial point. The second a device is designed to go inside a person, the whole game changes. The question is no longer, can we build it? It's, can we prove beyond a shadow of a doubt that it is 100% safe? And that proof, well, it's earned on a very long and difficult journey. It all starts with the initial idea, the research and prototyping in the lab. Then it has to survive preclinical testing. We're talking rigorous simulations and animal studies. And only if it passes all of that can it finally move to multi-phase clinical trials with actual human patients, proving it works not just in theory, but in the messy, complicated real world. So, how do you manage a process that complex and make sure every single device is safe? You need a universal rulebook. And that brings us to the world of standards and something called quality assurance. Quality assurance, or QA, is really the bedrock of making medical devices. It's not just a quick final inspection, it's an entire system of practices that's designed to guarantee that every single item that comes off that production line is safe, effective, and identical to the one before it. In this world, repeatability is everything. A great way to wrap your head around all these rules is to think of international standards, those famous ISO standards, as a universal recipe book for safety. They give you these super detailed step-by-step instructions that manufacturers all over the world can follow to make sure their dish, in this case a medical device, is safe and high quality every single time. And in that global recipe book, there's one chapter that is absolutely essential for this industry, ISO 13485. This isn't just a suggestion, it's the gold standard for quality management that covers the whole shebang, from design to manufacturing to distribution. If you want to get a medical device approved basically anywhere in the world, you have to speak the language of ISO 13485. Let's make this real with a critical process, sterilization. It is absolutely 100% non-negotiable, but choosing the right method involves some really serious trade-offs. For example, steam from an autoclave is fast and doesn't use harmful chemicals, but it can totally damage sensitive plastics. Gamma irradiation is super effective, but it can actually change the surface of a device. And ethylene oxide gas is great for delicate stuff, but it's highly toxic to the people who have to handle it. So the standards guide manufacturers through this minefield to make the safest possible choice for each specific device. Okay, so we have this incredible technology. We have a clear rulebook for safety. Logically, you'd think 3D printed implants would be everywhere by now, but they're not. So what's the holdup? Yeah, really think about it. If we can print a custom knee implant that's a perfect fit for you, why are surgeons still using standard off-the-shelf sizes? The answer to that question reveals the final major barriers to this revolution.
As it turns out, there are really two major roadblocks. On the technical side, it's all about proving consistency. For a load-bearing implant, like a new hip, you have to be able to guarantee that every single printed part has the exact same reliable mechanical strength time after time. But the bigger hurdle, the one that's really slowing things down, is this fascinating legal and regulatory gray area.
And it all comes down to this one monumental question. If a custom implant, printed right there in the hospital, fails, who is legally responsible? Is it the company that made the printer? The supplier of the raw material? The hospital that printed it? The surgeon who put it in? Until we can answer that, the true medical revolution will have to wait. It's a huge question of liability that technology alone just can't solve.